Have you ever trusted someone who seemed perfect, only to feel hurt and confused when their true colors showed? It's a painful experience many of us have faced, and Carl Jung had a name for these people: shadow deniers. Through his insights on Carl Jung's shadow denier behavior, he revealed how some hide their inner struggles, creating harm without even realizing it. In this video, we'll explore 3 signs of these shadow deniers, especially in toxic relationships seniors might encounter, and how to protect yourself. Let's start by looking at how their charm can pull you in before you see the truth. Ever met someone who felt like a breath of fresh air? Someone who seemed to understand you in a way that made you feel truly seen? That's often the first sign of a shadow denier, and it's a mask that can be hard to spot at the start. Carl Jung's shadow denier behavior teaches us that these people create a perfect persona, a carefully crafted version of themselves designed to win your trust and admiration. They might seem kind, attentive, always saying the right things with a smile that feels so warm and genuine. I've experienced this myself, meeting someone at a community event who seemed like the perfect listener, always agreeing with me, making me feel so valued. But Carl Jung warned that this isn't always real connection. It's often a performance, a way for them to avoid being abandoned or exposed. They mirror your needs, reflecting back what you crave most, like acceptance or understanding. But it's not about truly knowing you. It's about keeping you close to prop up their fragile self-image. For us as seniors, these toxic relationships seniors might face can feel especially confusing because we often long for connection after years of life's ups and downs. At first, their attention feels like a rare gift, and you might think you've found someone who gets you. But over time, you might start to feel something isn't quite right. Maybe they're a little too perfect, always agreeing with you, never showing their own vulnerabilities. That's because they're not being their whole self. They're hiding the parts they can't accept, like their insecurities or anger, deep in their shadow. Jung believed that when someone refuses to face their shadow, they can't connect as a complete person. Instead, they perform, and that performance takes a lot of energy, which is why the mask can't hold forever. You might notice small signs at first, like a sudden coldness when you disagree with them, or a subtle shift in their tone when you set a boundary. These are clues that their charm isn't as real as it seems. It's a survival tactic, not a reflection of true care. If you sense this, pay attention to how you feel around them. Does their presence leave you feeling uneasy, even if you can't explain why? Trust that feeling. It's your inner wisdom trying to protect you. As their mask starts to slip, you might notice behaviors that leave you feeling uneasy and confused. Does it ever feel like someone's warmth turns cold the moment you don't meet their expectations? That's a key sign of a shadow denier, and it can be deeply unsettling as their true behavior comes to light. Carl Jung explained that when someone refuses to face their shadow, they end up projecting their hidden flaws, like insecurity or anger, onto those around them, especially in toxic relationships seniors might face. At first, they might seem like the perfect companion, but when you challenge them, even gently, their mask begins to crack. Suddenly, they might accuse you of being too sensitive, ungrateful, or selfish, blaming you for the very things they can't admit about themselves. I've seen this in a close friendship where someone I trusted turned cold after I set a boundary about needing space. They called me distant, even though they were the one pulling away. This kind of shadow work toxic behavior isn't always intentional. It's a defense mechanism to protect their fragile self-image. They can't handle criticism or vulnerability because it feels like a threat to their carefully built persona, so they deflect, making you doubt your own feelings. Carl Jung called this gaslighting, a way they rewrite your reality to avoid facing their own truth. And it's especially common in toxic behavior middle age, Jung describes. You might notice they react oddly to small disagreements, withdrawing their warmth or using subtle sarcasm to undermine you. Over time, their accusations can make you question yourself. Maybe you are overreacting, maybe you're the problem. But that's exactly what they want, to keep you off balance so they don't have to look at their own shadows. For us as seniors, this can be exhausting because we've already been through enough without carrying someone else's unhealed pain. If you notice this pattern, it's crucial to trust your instincts, even when they try to make you doubt them. Their projections aren't about you, they're about what they can't face within themselves. To protect yourself, start by setting clear boundaries. Even if it feels uncomfortable at first, you might say, I need space to process this, and stick to it, no matter how they react. It's not about fixing them. They have to face their own shadows, but about keeping your peace intact. You deserve relationships that don't leave you feeling drained or confused, and recognizing these behaviors is the first step to finding that safety. Their behavior can take a toll on you over time, pulling you into their emotional chaos without you realizing it. Have you ever felt drained after spending time with someone, like you're carrying a weight you can't explain? That's a sign. A shadow denier might be affecting your emotional well-being, and it's a serious impact to watch for. Carl Jung's shadow denier behavior reveals that when someone refuses to face their inner shadows, they can pull you into their chaos, leaving you feeling confused and exhausted. In toxic relationships seniors often face, this can be especially hard because we've already been through so much and long for peace in our later years. At first, you might not notice it. You're so caught up in their charm or their needs that you overlook how you're feeling. But over time, you might start to doubt yourself, wondering if you're the problem, or find yourself constantly trying to keep the peace, even at the cost of your own needs. I've felt this myself with a colleague who always needed my support but never truly listened in return, leaving me feeling empty after every conversation. Carl Jung explained that this happens because shadow deniers are trapped in a cycle of unhealed pain. They project their struggles onto you, making you feel responsible for their emotions. In toxic behavior, middle-aged Jung describes, they might guilt you into staying close, using your empathy as a way to feel better about themselves. But it's never enough, because their pain is internal, and no amount of your care can fix it. This dynamic can make you lose touch with your own instincts, as you start to suppress your truth to avoid conflict, leaving you emotionally drained. For us as seniors, this can take a heavy toll, pulling us away from the calm we deserve. Carl Jung shadow denier seniors often encounter can even lead to anxiety or a sense of disconnection, because your psyche is trying to find balance in a relationship that's anything but balanced. The most important step is to recognize that you can't heal them. They have to face their own shadows. Instead, focus on protecting your peace by setting firm boundaries, even if it means stepping away. You might seek support from a trusted friend or counselor to reconnect with your own needs, reminding yourself that you're not responsible for carrying their pain. You deserve relationships that lift you up, not ones that leave you feeling lost. These 3 signs, they're perfect. Charm as a mask, the way they project and manipulate, and the emotional drain they cause, help you spot shadow deniers and protect your peace. Carl Jung, shadow denier seniors might face, can be challenging, but recognizing these patterns lets you set boundaries and find healthier connections. You deserve relationships that feel safe and real, especially as you embrace this chapter of life. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below and share your experiences. If this resonated, give it a like and subscribe to Ageless Philosophies for more wisdom. Here's to building relationships that lift your spirit and honor your peace at any age.